Multiple Jets moves are coming as a report has revealed a major update on this New York Jets team as given to us by both Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn about two of the New York Jets' best and brightest stars and the best parts of the future of this New York Jets team, as everything that we have to talk about is about to be broken down as there's a ton to go over. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you are part of that 73% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, this is the place to be for all New York Jets content. We're having a bunch of fun here, doing a bunch of videos, multiple videos every weekday. You guys do not want to miss out on all the great content. All that being said, let's jump into the video. We have a lot to discuss as both Aaron Glenn and Jets GM Darren Mougey have revealed a lot about this New York Jets team, their feelings on it, their feelings on the star players, and what their plans are for the rest of this offseason, both before and after the NFL draft. And one of the biggest storylines going into the offseason was what was going to happen with Garrett Wilson. There was a lot of talk about him potentially getting traded off the New York Jets, though that quieted down. And now what we're seeing is Jets fans, myself included, just patiently waiting for both Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner to get their contract extensions. And we have a massive update on that. The biggest update we've gotten thus far, as revealed to us by Connor Hughes. He mentioned the New York Jets want to get through the draft first. Once they do, General Manager Darren Mougey said they'll talk to representatives of Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson about contract extensions. So now we know. Now we know that the New York Jets are making this move and that this move will be coming after the NFL draft. I'm not going to lie. I'm happy to know that it's going to happen. But why are we, first of all, why are we saying so much about this? One, why are we giving everything away? The Jets seeming like before this, they wanted to be pretty locked down on stuff and not let a ton of stuff get out to the media, especially after last season. So that's a bit interesting. Also, why? Like, why? You're going to re-sign him anyway. Why not do that now? Why not work on this now? I mean, we already saw the Jets wait too long in regards to the Derek Stingley contract, and now they're going to owe Sauce Gardner more money than they initially expected. So that's already caused a problem. I don't like that the Jets are waiting this long. It doesn't make sense to me to wait. Now, I just don't think there's a good reason for it, personally. I think it's a weird choice to just wait to make that move and when you could have it all done and everything could be figured out by now. So I don't really love the idea of the New York Jets doing that. All that being said, it is what it is. We can't really change this now, but it is something to note that there is a bit of a problem about. So we did have to just kind of go over that. But on top of that, there is a lot more in regards to these extensions. Now, Hughes mentions that Wilson's done it all without the slightest semblance of stability at a quarterback position. He's caught passes from 8 different quarterbacks in his NFL career. He's played in 2 different offenses. There was tension between Wilson and the Jets after 2024, and understandably so. He clashed with some of the coaches in the last coaching staff. He and Aaron Rodgers never saw eye to eye. Wilson is among the most passionate players within that locker room and the NFL as a whole. It's not about money with him. It's about winning. The incessant losing and fluging this franchise like a plague since his arrival has taken its toll on him. He never officially requested a trade, but many externally and some internally felt it was inevitable that he would. Wilson is willing to commit to the Jets if they're willing to commit to him. Aaron Glenn said he's talked several times with Garrett Wilson, and he believes now that Garrett Wilson is in a good place, which is absolutely huge to hear about Garrett Wilson. The New York Jets need Wilson. There's no way around it. He's one of the most important. He is the most important player on this team. As of right now, he is the Jets franchise player. He's the guy who, if everyone got traded except for one guy, this is who 99% of Jets fans would ask to not get traded off this team. I'm honestly probably 100% of Jets fans would pick Garrett Wilson. There's no other option you take here. Wilson wants to win. He is a winner. Don't get it twisted based off these last couple of seasons. Remember, the Jets, they didn't have a great year, but when they won 7 games in Wilson's rookie year, it felt like they were building something, and that was in large part because of Garrett Wilson's refusal to be on a losing team, and he wasn't going to let that happen. The next 2 years, things took a bit of a dip because just so much went down. Last season was just rough. So much went wrong last season, and I feel like a lot of that can be excused, but at the same time, Garrett Wilson's not going to excuse that at all. He doesn't want to waste a year losing. He wants to win. He wants to win multiple Super Bowls. He wants to win more than anything. He's just such a competitive player. It's one of the reasons why he was so happy with Justin Fields coming in. Fields is incredibly competitive, and he's an excellent leader. And Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields are friends from their time at college together at the Ohio State University. So you see that, and you understand that there are some good days ahead in the sense of mentality and what the Jets want to do to succeed. And though the roster does not look as good as last year, that doesn't tell the whole story. Last year, the Jets had one of the best looking rosters in football and won 5 games. This season, the Jets, they don't have one of the best looking rosters in football. But if they can build a team, if they can build a culture, that's what matters. That's what matters to the Jets front office. It's what matters to Garrett Wilson. It's what matters to the fans. And it's something that the Jets need Garrett Wilson to do. And it appears that Wilson will be sticking around with the New York Jets for the foreseeable future. Now, Connor Hughes also mentioned that the hard thing with Wilson is finding the appropriate compensation. The horrible quarterback play he's dealt with is the primary reason he's not viewed in the same class as the Justin Jeffersons or Jamar Chases of the world with their 4-year deals worth $140 million and $161 million respectively. The Jets need to find the number that's fair but doesn't offend, rewards but doesn't overpay. They need to find that by determining where amongst the league's hierarchy does Garrett Wilson fall. Top 10, top 7, top 5. 3 league sources says they touched base with an estimated Wilson ultimately lands within $25 to $30 million annually, which does sound right to me personally. Now, taking a look at the numbers Wilson's put up over his NFL career, he's been great. I mean, every season he's played, he's had over 1,000 receiving yards, had 1,103 in his first year, 1,042 second year, and then 1,104 in his third year. So career high in receiving yards, even if it's by 1 yard, it's still a career high. Career high in touchdowns, since he had 7 touchdowns last season. Prior to this year, he had 7 for his career. So doubled his touchdowns over the season, played really, really, really good football, and just absolutely showed why he's one of the best receivers in the NFL, and he'd be looked at as better if the Jets had more consistent quarterback play. Aaron Rodgers was definitely a letdown, and since then, it's been tough to kind of gauge where everything else stands. Now, you look at the top paid receivers in the NFL. Jamar Chase is getting $40 million per year. Garrett's not getting that. Justin Jefferson's getting around 35. CeeDee Lamb's getting 34. DK Metcalf's getting 33. A.J. Brown's getting around 30. Amon-Ra St. Brown is up there as well. I imagine he'll be somewhere either between A.J. Brown and Amon-Ra or Amon-Ra and Brandon Ayuk. That's my guess. I would imagine Wilson gets closer to 30 than 25. I think he's going to demand that with the losing that the Jets have had, and the Jets are going to have their hands tied, especially considering their receiver room outside of Garrett Wilson is definitely severely lacking up to this point, which makes it easier for Garrett Wilson to gain all the leverage that he needs. On top of that, there's also the other guy in question here, Sauce Gardner, baby. One of the best cornerbacks, one of the best starts to a career for a cornerback in NFL history. And a lot of fans are kind of jumping on Sauce Gardner for not continuing this elite level of play into his last season. But as I mentioned, last season was so weird. A lot of stuff can just be thrown out from that. And I think Sauce is included in that, especially dealing with an injury. Now, as Hughes mentions, Gardner's a bit different. He's a 2-time first-team All-Pro. He didn't play to the same level last season, and he'll admit that. Those struggles are a bit blown out of proportion, though. Quarterbacks threw at Gardner 47 times in 2024, and they completed 25%, or 25, which is 53.2% for 391 yards. He allowed just 1 touchdown. J.C. Horn, who just signed a 4-year, $100 million extension with the Panthers, allowed a 54.4% completion rate with 418 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. Aaron Glenn has also said he expects Sauce Gardner to return to an elite level in 2025, and he can be, by Glenn's admission, the best cornerback in the NFL, like he was in his first 2 seasons in the NFL, but he just did not continue that last season. As mentioned, something Gardner will openly admit to, and it's just the fact I think it was last year was so weird, and also Gardner was dealing with an injury for a portion of it, which doesn't help as well. Given it's football, most people are dinged up, so you have to understand that as well. But Hughes mentions that there was a run this offseason of cornerbacks resetting the market. First came J.C. Horn with that 4-year, $100 million deal, and then Derek Stingley for that 3-year, $90 million deal. Gardner will and should exceed that, and he's going to. There's no way around it. Not just for what he brings to the Jets on the field as a top-tier player at a premium position, but off it. Gardner's a leader in the locker room and a force in the community, and he's a culture setter. Like Garrett Wilson, Gardner doesn't accept losing. That's not okay with him. He's not okay with losing football games. And Gardner's been open about the fact that if he requested a trade from the Jets, he would feel terrible because he wants to be part of the team that turns the Jets around. He doesn't want to go running for the hills like so many before him who couldn't turn it around. Gardner's made it his mission to be on that Jets team when they get out of this 15-year playoff drought. And it's one of those things that you hear where it's like, this is a guy who you want as a captain of your team. This is a leader that you want on your team. On top of that, he is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. In any given year, he's going to be the best as well. Last year was weird. I fully expect Sauce Gardner to be right back as one of the best, if not the best cornerback in the NFL next season. Now, looking at Gardner's numbers, All-Pro first 2 seasons. This year, not as much, but he also played only 15 games. He was dealing with injury, missed a few games, and the pass deflections did go down, especially when you consider his first year. He had a league high with 20, but on top of that, he's still been absolutely phenomenal. He needs to pick up the interception game a bit more. Did have one this season, which was a great interception at the end of a game. However, the Jets do need more out of Sauce Gardner, out of considering what he's shown them in the past. Yeah, the tackling numbers aren't great, but plenty of cornerbacks are not great at tackling and just don't tackle. So there's not a ton that I think people should really be putting stock into that. I think people put way too much stock into that, in fact. So it is something to mention. On top of that, you look at the top of the cornerback list. You got Derek Stingley Jr. making $30 million per year. You got J.C. Horn making $25. You got Jarvis Landry. I was actually going to say Jarvis Landry, too. That's how I started that. Not Jalen Ramsey. Jarvis Landry. Remember him? No? I'm not that old. You guys remember Jarvis Landry. I'm just playing around. But look, you got Jalen Ramsey, who reset the market, also being the highest paid cornerback for the second time, though that didn't last very long, at $24 million. Pat Surtain, who's widely regarded, and I would say so, the best cornerback in football, at $24 million. Jair Alexander at $21 million. Sauce is going to exceed all these guys without question. He's going to get around $33 million. I would guess somewhere between 31 and 33. I'd guess probably on the 33 side. Because, again, Sauce has leverage. The Jets aren't a very good team, and he knows he could request a trade, and his value's a bit down than usual, so the Jets would have to part with him for a really not ideal price. So Sauce Gardner's going to get around $33 million. My guess is they're going to pay heavily for these two guys because, well, frankly, they have to, and that's the world we're living in right now. And I have no problem paying them a ton of money because their impact on the team is undeniable. They're also very young and two of the best futures in just football at their positions, but the two best futures on the Jets where we stand right now. So they need to keep these guys around. That draft class was awesome. That top four with with all of Garrett and Sauce, obviously they were picked in the other way, and Jermaine Johnson getting picked at the late first round, and then the second round, Breece Hall. The Jets had a very successful draft that year in 2022, and now where we stand right now, I really want to see this continue. But at the end of the day, I do think that both these guys are going to get extensions. I just wish it was going to happen earlier before the market got reset for Sauce Gardner. I think that was a mistake on Darren Mougey's part. But, however, where things stand right now, there's not much you can do about it. But, guys, let me know what you think they're going to get extended for and when they'll get extended in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.